Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
And scene. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAEAREs Review with me and my homegirl, Erin. Gonna let you know about the What's Going Down episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6 Final Reunion. Ooh, everybody, please help me welcome Erin to the stage.
Hello, Anton Unks. Here we are, like boys to men. We've come to the end of the road.
Ooh, although you know, girl, it was good. It was good.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
You know, I like how Bronwyn get in her bag and she will let you know what it is, how it is, and that's it. That's all. And you know, that girl sure know how to talk, don't she?
Yes, she does. She sure does. I gotta hand it to your girl. Like, whoo, she is spectacular under direct confrontation. It's impressive.
And I think that's why Heather was always so hazy towards her, resentful that here comes this woman who can sway the needle better than me. And I'm gonna say better because she can.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Heather didn't like the way Bronwyn, could be. Her first season, she was a little wishy-washy with the gossip, and I think she's even reflected on wanting to fix that moving forward. So I like that she's very self-reflective that way. But I think that's why Lisa hates Bronwyn. Is Bronwyn annihilates her.
I mean, careful. And I'm going to say this, and I'm 10 toes. Careful when you come towards the queen with the bull-ish. Sorry, but Bronwyn has these girls. She's toppled over. And I don't mean in any type of superiority way. I mean, she knows how to gather and she knows how to dive in. I think she got it down pat. And she's representing well as a housewife, as housewives can be.
I agree.
She has faults. I'm not doubting that, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. She handled herself. I was impressed.
Yeah, I'm impressed, and I hope she gets to stay longer than. I just hope she gets to stay.
Oh, girl, I think so. I think she threw her marriage right up under the bus to stay.
Well, she has to be honest.
I love it. Yeah. No, I'm here for it. But I mean, she put her marriage in the fire as tribute and said, let's go.
I think she's being a lot more honest than most of the women on this stage about her life.
Yeah, I agree.
Self-reflective, just like you said. Some of them cannot do that, i.e. Lisa.
Yeah.
Girl, I have to say this. We may be everywhere, but it is what it is. I Team John.
Yeah.
Because she actually replied to, I think Andy asked her a question, or maybe it was an audience question about how honest John was about his feelings and how you, Lisa, don't acknowledge them. And she replied with, my feelings were hurt because he was honest, because he actually showed you or proved to you that you're not honoring him the way you should by at least acknowledging his feelings, telling him his feelings are valid as we are supposed to do when people feel a way. That's your spouse. I don't know. Is it me? But how self-absorbed can you be? It's so disrespectful towards your spouse to just negate their feelings like that.
Yeah, Lisa has a hard. Well, I mean, they stated they like to state the obvious, Captain Obvious, as we like to say. She has a very hard time taking accountability or like allowing other people to be right when they have an issue with her.
I feel bad for John because he can. I'm sorry, but how much more can you expect him to put up with? Anybody, and it's not fair to him. It's just not fair. Come on, Lisa girl, come on. Well, I guess we'll start from the beginning like we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany, we ended off with her crying off stage and carrying on and on and carrying. Not negating her feelings at all, just talking smack. But she cried out, after the stage about Meredith calling her a bigot and all of that. All because Meredith didn't appreciate the type of remedy Brittany gave. And if I'm not mistaken, it made it seem like Brittany only performed that remedy by removing the post and vowing not to deal with that nail tech anymore because she was getting scrutiny from the public. Is that how Meredith put it? Because that's how I understood it.
I agree. I took it as the same. She was basically trying to say that Brittany was being performative and not sincere, but even Andy was looking at Meredith like, this is your deflection.
Yeah, girl, what?
It's like, this was stretched.
Okay.
And shame on you for you need to have better proof to call someone a bigot, a homophobe, a race, you need to be nope, didn't like it. And I don't even like Brittany, but didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, moving forward, I'm not gonna keep beating Brittany down. We all know it is what it is about her. We have our opinions, our feelings, but when right is right, wrong is wrong. And Meredith, I like you, girl, but you wrong for that. You are wrong. And perhaps your feelings towards Brittany and how she has fueled rumors or, told untruths about your marriage or you or made you feel a way by her trying to fit in with the group rubbed you more of a wrong way than how she remedied that situation with that nail tech. To me, that's what it looks like. You're holding on, and you don't want to let things go. And at some point, you have to, move forward in that by atoning, because you have not done that yet.
Nope. And it also felt like you were weaponizing a situation to deflect against the fact that you treated this girl like crap on a plane, and you were taking liberties with something because you were saying, well, I know how she treated me, so that makes she's a bigot because she went after you about that you have a shady marriage, even though Lisa said that you slept with half New York. And this isn't the first time we've heard that Seth has a wandering eye.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're just reaching for all kinds of things. And by the way, I don't know if you saw C. Diggy, the other half of Pop Rose. Shout out to Alex and Chris on Alexander Rogers' channel. Chris has a friend that is friends with a flight attendant that was on the flight in question. And that flight attendant said that the air marshal would have been called, except production gave several assurances that they had the situation under control. Please do not.
Girl, he said that?
Yes, he did. So there's the proof we've all been looking for.
Well, it is fourth hand, but still.
True. Very, very, very another
but
person's
still
hand.
Look,
There's
but
somebody.
Still. We all believed it.
Yeah.
It's just, ooh, that That's
And
a few phone calls, but still.
true, right? Don't go get on a stand and raise a hand.
Yeah. But still.
And that it was the whole flight.
Oh, I know that's gonna be on Pop Roast this week.
Probably everybody go check out Chris's review from last week of Real Housewives of Potomac Part 2, or not Potomac, excuse me, Salt Lake City Part 2. He mentions it in the first whatever, I'll say first 15. I cite my sources. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, ooh, okay, that's not the gospel, but that's some pretty damning hearsay.
We all been waiting on that proof. Somebody thinks somebody gonna say something, somebody gonna produce something that's gonna confirm that,
Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna operate that I believe it now. More likely to believe.
Yeah, more likely to believe. I mean, I already believed it, but I'm just saying.
Right, correct. Yeah, well, because everybody can't be crazy, but anyway.
And again, just because there's some things that about Mary, she was the most believable as far as how she represented the confrontation to Meredith about her behavior. Everybody else was just all wild and crazy and yelling. And it does say something about the delivery.
Yeah, Heather, you need to stop talking over people constantly. Like you did that the whole fucking time to the point that yes.
Like I be doing.
Like I be doing to you too. So it's fine. We correct each other ourselves, right? And but this Heather, god damn. Take a note. If you're watching, listening.
Oh, just like how Brittany came back and told Meredith, listen, Meredith, it's over. It's done. I'm done with you. We can move on. Go ahead,
right, with a drink and a coffee cup. Girl, you're not hiding what you got in there.
Okay. Got one of them. Remember how Dr. Hamley would come through with her mug?
Yes.
Liquor,
I had a special mug. Oh, Lord. Anyway.
Coffee. Don't worry about what's in this cup, baby.
Right.
What was in that cup, Brittany? Because we know how you like to not drink wine, but drink wine.
Right.
I mean, a nice little, refreshed beverage. Ain't never hurt nobody when they a little under pressure.
Well, I think she was crying like that because she felt really sabotaged. Like, are you seriously going to pin this on? So I think that was the white woman's hysterics, but it was also the falsely accused. I mean, I think there could be maybe a little bit of truth that Brittany took the post down because of pressure, but I don't think she's also an anti-Semite. I really don't. She's a lot of things, but I don't really think she's an anti-Semite. I don't.
Then Lisa started in. Oh, don't forget about me, how y'all harassed me on the boat, and about putting out stories on y'all. Girl, don't let somebody else, a flight attendant, come out and say, well, I was there when I heard Lisa tell.
I know, right?
about five different bloggers that Bronwyn, girl, that's what's coming up next.
Yes.
Lisa said, because I was right at the table next to her.
I know. Well, she's like, not to make it about me, but I'm about to make it about me. And listen, Lisa, girl, I'll give you this. I didn't like the way they ganged up on you. I thought they were being mean. You all can be very mean in the kind of a group pack mentality. I'd be crying on the side of the boat too. But what happened to you doesn't negate the fact that Meredith completely had a meltdown on a plane. So stop doing that.
I feel a little different about Lisa because just like Lisa gives it, they give it to her too. She can be so loud and talking over and just trying to exert her, I don't even want to say authority, herself over the situation, and just total, just dismissing whoever's talking to her, and then come up with some childhood insults. So if they're gonna pile on a rabbit, because the rabbit sometimes deserves, if you ask me, the way Lisa be going on and carrying on. But
yeah, I just think Heather was a little too like, I'm gonna leave the charge a little
mine
too
is
this
Heather.
season. Yeah, like I appreciate how she said I have done stupid things to be liked and like Heather has a certain level of self-awareness I do like about her and I can appreciate. But it was a little too much receipts, proof, timeline, this season. So calm it down.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And speaking of calming it down, that's what Mary tried to do. When Lisa was going back and forth with Heather and them, when Lisa wanted to say, don't forget about me when y'all jumped on me on the boat. Mary was like, listen, girl. She tried to get Lisa to calm down. And then Lisa started yelling at Mary. Mary, what she before?
Mary schooled her ass too. Mary, that's another one. Mary's like second in command to Bronwyn as far as like get you together.
I mean, not once did Mary yell, but Lisa just yelling at her, pointing and everything. I'm like, wait a doggone minute. First of all, watch your fingers. At that point, it would have been nice if Meredith was at least, calm down. Stop yelling at Mary. She's not yelling at you. Just like when they tried to get Meredith to understand, when your marriage is under scrutiny, you have all this to say, like Bronwyn told her. But when my marriage was under scrutiny, you have nothing to say. And Meredith was like, well, you can handle it. You're handling it. Bronwyn's like, that's not the point. If you're my friend, you're going to defend me when right is right and wrong is wrong. And at that point, Meredith should have got Lisa together. Stop yelling at Mary. She's trying to help you.
Meredith should have done Meredith just sat there or denied. That was the problem.
Yeah, I think she kind of done. I'm going to stick by what I'm about to say. I've been saying it for I don't know how many episodes. I think Meredith is still feeling the way about them blaming her about reality Vontees. When they threw her up under the bus and never apologized. I think ever since then, she's been kind of holding some resentment. So she's not fully engaging with the ladies. That's what I think. I think that has a little bit to do with why, or half of why she's not so accountable with these ladies as she should be.
I don't know the why, but I'm done. If they don't bring her back, I have no problem because this was not fun for me. I didn't enjoy her at all. And I don't want to not like someone. She was just very unlikable this season.
Yeah. I wish Meredith. I feel strongly about that, but if that's not it, she has some explaining to do, Ricky.
Well, even if that's the reason why, then say that. At this point, there's got to be something better than your denial. Now, the one thing I'd like to make really clear, I think we missed the mark a little bit here on trying to pinpoint why Meredith was acting the way she was acting. None of us know. And I think we got hung up on this whole substance abuse accusation when it doesn't matter. It matters how she acted. It matters that she's denying the reality of the situation to everyone else that had the same experience. So, maybe she was on something, maybe not. It doesn't matter. And that's where we got lost in all of this because Meredith stood behind this, I'm being persecuted as a false accusation. And, at the end of the day, what the reasoning was as to why she behaved that way, she still refused to take any accountability or even acknowledge that it existed in the way that everyone, including the fourth hand account of the Phantom flight attendant, said. And that's the part that is irrefutable. That's the part that seems like shouldn't really be up for debate. I don't care what substances you had in your system. You acted a whole asshat, and you're not willing to admit it.
Okay, even Angie had to get, once Angie wasn't being spoken to, she had to throw hers in there. So she said, well, listen, Meredith, had you spoken to me like that, the air marshal would have been waiting for you when the plane landed. Meredith
Yeah.
kind of chuckled like, I know this bitch didn't just say that to me.
I know.
You know, that's what she said. I swear that's what she said, but we couldn't hear it. She
I
said,
know.
what the hell? And Andrew just kind of just,
Yeah.
stand by what I said, because as she said, as Brittany stormed off of this stage, was nothing in comparison to how she acted or how her demeanor was on that plane. I said, "Ooh, Meredith, don't look good." I think that fourth hand information is credible with everything that has been said.
Yeah.
Fourth hand information is real credible.
Yeah. So like I said, I think we spent a lot of time like speculating on that part, and I think we missed the mark. That was my criticism of that, where it's like it doesn't even matter. Like y'all are trying to like, I guess it's like everybody's trying to find a reason why Meredith is denying the reality or doesn't remember. And it's like, no, Meredith doesn't like taking accountability. Let's look at how she's been rocking since she's been on this show. Meredith doesn't like, that's why her and Lisa are good friends. She, so she'll look you in your face and be like, that's not the conversation we had. And not only that, but like, Bronwyn, are you going to accuse Meredith of being super wasted when she called you about the conversation you had off camera? So it's like I said, it just dawned on me, especially when Whitney was trying to backpedal about what she said about Meredith. This isn't the point, ladies, any of that. You can apologize because you did make a strong accusation and you have no proof, and that's not cool because that does have a stigma, has some things. But just stick to the point of like, I don't know what you was on or not or whatever. Like, I would claim drunkenness at this point with the way you acted, because sober, you still, you even less excuse. But I think that she's using it to deflect. Meredith is.
So speaking of Whitney, since you brought her up, let's talk about her.
Yeah. Okay.
So Whitney was asked about calling Meredith addict, a substance abuser or whatever. And she apologized. There's just a lot of going back and forth about that. But she said she did that in the heat of the moment because her and Meredith were arguing. And she said she's embarrassed about it. We believe her. She admitted why, the rationale, everything. And her only reason is because of what she's been prone to in her life with her family history of substance issues. Again, she apologized again. She, like I said, she admitted that it was only because it was a reaction to Meredith and just, all these things that was going through her mind. And then Meredith also wanted to kind of throw them under the bus about them taking this and that and the third, but no one wants to talk about them. And then they said, oh, the Xanax. Oh, yeah. Then they show the film of them, of Heather laughing about taking, pills or sleeping pills or Xanax or something to help them sleep on a plane. Is that what was that what it was for?
I guess.
I didn't say, but the whole point is, Meredith, I know you want to try and say are you trying to say you're not the only one doing it, or are you just trying to say that, well, you guys aren't speaking about the pills that you pop?
Yeah.
Considering you're the ones who gave me some that helped me sleep. So, if we're gonna talk about it all. That's how I took Meredith.
I do, and I respect that a little bit in the sense of like, just because a doctor prescribed it doesn't mean you can't abuse it, and doesn't mean you even need it. Because we all know how easily, especially when you have money, it's very easy to get what you need. And you shouldn't be drinking with any of that crap, regardless.
None of it.
But as you know, as the folks know that listen to us regularly, I am very much that is your freaking business and not mine to do with what you will. And, so let's get out of each other's medicine cabinets unless you have a one-eyed Tamara sitting at the table where it's like super obvious that something went down, like, because it's so whatever. But again, we missed the mark here, ladies. It was unacceptable regardless of what Meredith was on. And that wasn't the knee you needed her to take. The knee y'all needed her to take was, I shouldn't have acted that way.
And more Whitney news. they brought up her business, and she was able to buy it back. She's not resentful of her husband Justin. However, now that they're exploring her feelings, he's bringing up feelings that he's been harboring, so they're just going through the motions. In a way, it's kind of sound like tit for tat. Now that she's brought something, now he has something. But to his credit, she did mention that it was something that he wasn't being truthful about all along in their marriage. So it just kind of opened up the door for him to be totally honest with his wife, and that they're just going through the motions. But she's a little scared because she didn't mention that she's like Todd and he's like Bronwyn. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. She was acting kind of weird. Like I want to be able to express this properly. I didn't quite understand what was happening. She was obviously very moved by Bronwyn's news and what Bronwyn was sharing. It hit home for her as she shared, and then she needed to go off stage, and she got comforted by Justin, and I felt it was a very genuine, close moment between them of like love and support, like so I don't like part of me felt like she was subliminally saying we're separated too and it's him that wants away from me, or how she said I feel like the fuck up. I couldn't quite get a read on what's going on here. Are you guys separated and this is triggering you, or you said you always feel like the fuck up? Did Justin say he might want to leave you? But then when you needed his comfort, he was very reassuring and never. I don't get it. I'm not quite sure. I respect the fact that you're rebuilding together and that this has been extremely rough. Financial pressures can obviously destroy a marriage, and one on this level seems really big.
Well, to add to that and to maybe help clarify, she did say in all of that was her, like you said, her being a fuck up, to where she associated herself with Todd, and Justin was associated with Bronwyn, in the fact that those roles were reversed in their marriage as to the perception that they have towards each other. Again, we're both speculating because it wasn't clear. It was very ambiguous. I agree with you. But it just seems like she was saying the roles were reversed.
Well, yes, but the way that you just said it made me think maybe she means that she means he didn't appreciate the way she talked about him on camera, like you didn't even take any interest in my business, and then when you did, you ruined it, or like maybe he let her know, well, I don't appreciate the way that you've dragged all of our stuff on camera. I lost my job because of the mud scene on the show. Like maybe he let her have it. Like, listen, selfish. Here's all the stuff I've done for you in order to sacrifice or whatever.
Could be all of it.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I don't think we have clarity. But I will say, shout out to the two of them, because I felt like when she looked at him for comfort, I felt like he genuinely was there for her. And I think that they do have a chance. I respected it.
He said so, but it seems like she's more hesitant. She's yes, you're right. He's the one that's reassuring her, we're going to get through this. Those were his exact words. We're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. But she seems to be the one, as she mentioned during the show, that she's looking outward of their marriage.
Right.
Well, eyes outside of. So
maybe he was really embarrassed by that. Maybe he was the one that was like, I don't feel like I need to stray. That's you, or So yeah.
Big ups to them.
Yeah, I hope you guys make it, because I thought that was a really nice moment. You looked to your husband for comfort and he provided it, The two of you have something there.
Then we had a couple of cute little moments, very few, child, regarding Electra when there was asked of whether or not she was, this is Angie's daughter, y'all,
Yeah.
whether or not she's looking forward to her Greek lineage, and the answer was, well, she's really into horses, and we're going to concentrate on that. She, you know, and she's interested in possibly going to the Olympics, and this, that, and the third. So we're going to just foster that and just see where it takes her. I'm like, okay. The great answer, because we don't want to be bad mouthing children and making them look like something that we want to talk about. So good for her.
Well, and like, how sometimes, like, if your parents are pushing you on something, that's the last thing you want to do, especially when you're a teenager. And so, she may be like rolling her eyes at this Greek crap because it's like, God, can you shut up? Because that's all you talk about, and we all know Angie can kind of be over the top. So I just think this is like a very clear example of, teenage mom, daughter, all those things, but oh, just say good luck in the Olympics, my friend. That's cool.
We'd love to see you over there.
Yep.
Riding the horses and carrying on. Had a horse doing the crip walk.
I love that. That's one of my favorite moments when Snoop's like, I gotta get one of them.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
When him, I heard he did something recently. I gotta find it. He was doing some commentary on a sport or something. I gotta find it. He's so funny doing that stuff.
Truly hilarious. Yes, truly makes me want to forgive him for some of his performance choices.
Girl, it's so difficult because the West Coast has been so solid with how we are, with that. Well, I'll say this. We all know the history of Dr. Dre. It's not a good history.
No.
I was there. I remember watching it on Yo MTV Raps about him beating up D Barnes. That was the most horrific. And then hearing about Michelle's stories, and then hearing about his ex-wife stories, and just know that sometimes we've heard things over the years that it's more than fourth-hand information. Shout out to C Diggy One and his what do you call it? And his news, his tea, his exclusive. And of course you believe it because that's all we've been hearing about the fool about, and it's just been so. It's just so horrible to hear. But West Coast, I'm just so disappointed sometimes when our faves just disappoint us. Just like you mentioned with Snoop, Dre and Suge, and all these different folks that really help make West Coast music what it is today, forevermore. But
yeah,
what can you
do? I
do?
mean, Snoop is also my LBC alum. We both went to Polytechnic High. Shout out Long Beach Poly, Jackrabbits. I think the thing I remind myself, especially my daughter's father had quite a career directing music videos, particularly quite a bit in the hip hop industry. E40 was one of his main guys.
Holy water.
Yeah. Gangster rap, when you speak from experience, it makes it a little complicated, makes it a little complicated. So anyway, back to
Britney.
Snoop Dogg Britney. I'm just kidding.
I wanted to say Britney has some cute news. She brought both Olivia. Well, this part is not the cute part, but it has a better ending. Britney brought both Olivia and Jared to BravoCon. Olivia was not happy that Jared was there. However, Britney had both of her daughters over for Christmas in 2025, and the first time in almost 8 years. So that's nice to hear.
Yes. Shout out to progress.
Right. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. What's on my notes? Let me look for something else. Jesus. We talked about Lisa. It's Bronwyn's turn, child. Bronwyn, child. So they went to Bronwyn and he asked her, "You got any news you want to share?" She's like, "Well, do you want to hear about what's happening now, or do you want to go back and work our way up to now?" Or whatever she said. He was like, "What?" Well, yeah, we all know she's separated from Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, okay. This is what I gathered. First, she talked about her mom, how her mom was hurt by her mom's first episode this season, and how it gained so much attention. We all talked about it, just like Reba and Sutton on the Rich Heifers of Beverly Hills. Her mother came off a very strong, staunch, stank-faced, unappreciative, just a real more negative than positive, disposition about her own daughter and what her daughter went through. Again, production has to do better when we're talking with children and elderly people, if you ask me. Production should not put out. Now, if that's all they gave, okay. However, I think they need to be a little more careful when they are copying and pasting what the elderly and what children are saying on these shows. Because as her mom mentioned, she was upset. She even came to Bronwyn about, "Is this how you see me? People saying this, that, and the third." So it caused some anxiety. It caused some dissension in the family based off of what her mother read and saw about her, her performance on the show.
I mean, can you imagine being as old as her mom is, and like all of a sudden you're a meme and you're hated, and you're like going about your life? I'm not saying that her mom didn't. Look, this is a woman that has a Mormon faith, that cares about her image. How you appear to other people is deeply valued in the Mormon religion. Heather will be the first to tell you that your reputation matters. I think Heather was great in kind of bringing that to light about giving us some background on Muzzy. And I can understand. Look, it's not that I don't think that Bronwyn had a hard situation. It was heartbreaking to hear like some of that crap come out of her mother's mouth. But she did also have a very touching scene with her mother at the end, where her mother expressed her admiration. And I 100% agree with you. Production, you have got to be con cuidado, with care, with these elderly folks, because they're not mentally equipped to handle this. And she also didn't ask to be on the show like this. And now you've literally taken her into probably a tailspin, or, it's heavily affected her and hurt her that this is happening. And like, when you're a contributing cast member on the show, can you imagine you have all of this public vitriol towards you, and like, you just made a guest appearance. You didn't even get paid. Girl. You didn't get none of that. And now you have all of this in your golden years, like, Jesus. And it's not even that like, oh, she deserved it. That's some crap. I just think this is Bronwyn's whole situation is an example of Bronwyn is meant for this. She's built for this. She was very good, but her family don't want to be on the show. And her mom was definitely a casualty of the situation. And I think Bronwyn feels bad, and she should, because I'm not saying you don't got a mean mommy, but shit, I can only imagine, that's a hell of a lot to be aired out like this at this point in your life.
And gone through, with her husband. It's just so much stress additional stress you're putting on a delicate situation. And I think they dropped the ball again.
Agreed.
Just for clicking a damn view. And you need to be ashamed of yourself, honestly.
Yeah, I think Bronwyn's a bit ashamed too. And the woman had brain cancer, for Christ's sake. Like, God damn.
That's what I'm saying. It's like going on over there at that accident.
And then they lost him to a fall, and she hadn't even been admitting how ill he was. Like, it's a lot.
She was in denial. I mean, good grief.
Yeah. I'm not saying that that was cute. That was not a good. It's unfortunate you were treated that way, Bronwyn. It really shows in the trajectory of your life. But good God, now you're on TV and you're the darling of the season. So life's not so bad. But I think she acknowledges that this choice had consequences and deep ones. But I think it's also very clear she loves this. She loves it and she wants to keep doing it. And she doesn't care what it costs. And I say that in a way out of respect because obviously Todd's much older and wealthy, right? He got a trophy wife, she got a wealthy husband. It's not that I don't think that they had a partnership and that they cared for each other. When she said she just turned 40, I thought, God, that is an old man with this wife, And it just reminded me the world is her oyster. She's beautiful and fashionable and funny, and now it's her turn to have fame and step into the limelight. And it's like, sometimes that's when these kinds of marriages don't add up because I don't believe that Bronwyn wants to stay married to Todd at the cost of her own career and her own fame and life and trajectory. And I don't think she should.
And to have Christian Soriano looking at you as his muse, in my opinion. I mean,
agreed. Yes. You're 40, you're beautiful, you are very charming, you're very well liked housewife. You've had a great debut. Not as many, it's one of the top level like popularity hits, right? Like she had a good first season, but I think this season was like boom, and I'm happy for her. It's unfortunate, but how many times do we all talk about housewives come on their show to leave their husbands? And I don't even mean that in a cruel way to the situation. I think Bronwyn's just outgrown it. She's gotten an opportunity, and Todd hates this shit. He is not built for this at all. He's really not. I feel bad for him about when she said he got accounts, he looked at everything. Don't read Reddit. Oh, people are so mean and so awful. And if you are not wanting this, the way that people just talk about you, the judgment for sport, it's got to be beyond devastating. Like, I can only imagine. Like when I used to guest on Alex's channel, people would make mean little comments, just because they didn't necessarily like me on with him or anybody else or anybody they felt was an amateur or any of those sorts of things. And, and for all the love that you get, like, sometimes every now and then a comment will hit where they hit you in an insecure place and you just don't feel good. I can only imagine what Todd went through, but unfortunately, Todd, you really didn't look good. And it's very obvious you don't like this show, and that's okay too. Like, I got it. Todd would look at Bronwyn and be like, I don't even know why we're here discussing this. Like, these ladies are assholes. And, but she kept looking at him like, you need to play the game. This is what I love. I want to do this. I want to fight with them. I want to be a part of this. And so, I just respectfully, I encourage you both. Sorry, Todd, your much younger wife is ready to do things that you're not capable of participating in.
I'm glad that she spoke about how he saw himself, how he related to her, how he saw himself, and how what my description of him, my description of what she said was that he saw himself as a heel, and then questioning his behavior towards her. At the moment, she's questioning why he's doing this. Was that really that bad? Yeah, that was that bad, specifically to the Cherry situation. She just told you how it affects her, and you totally dismissed her. As she just told you, she doesn't like her feelings to be dismissed.
Or you weren't listening, or you straight up weren't listening to her, and you just grabbed it. You know what I mean? Like, either way, you weren't being, yeah.
But him smirking, I think he did hear her. I think he was being spiteful.
Well, I think you know what, it's funny because when we first started reviewing this season, you
Yeah.
were kinder to Todd than I was,
Yes, I
but
was.
and I think that his willingness to go back through and look at everything and reflect speaks more to his character and the way that you thought of him versus the way he came off this season. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that I'm Team Todd. I'm Team Bronwyn. Go spread your wings and fly. To be honest, um, but I also I respect that he is not built for this show, but he did his that he doesn't want to lose his marriage and that he's not totally just walking away with his head up his butt about the whole thing.
Yeah, I was team Todd and Bronwyn when there was a team Todd and Bronwyn because they seemed to be equally yoked in that way where they could, handle things that came their way, which appeared to be until they couldn't, until, Bronwyn had enough, until the truth was told about exactly what was going on. I really liked them together. I liked his attitude because I hate to see men having to uh bow down or I just hate that Eugene on Married to Medicine has to deal with the crap that comes his way because he really can't talk to these ladies the way he really needs to. I'm sorry, but I had no issues still with how Todd handled Lisa the first season, how he came at them because he had every right to be stern enough to try and put them in their place for being disrespectful, show or not. I think he was appropriate. And I like that about men that come on this show. I don't like men to have to be, toyed with and made fun of like Eugene is on Married to Medicine. I hate that. So that was another part of why I like them together. They seem to handle things and not be, made or not. They didn't have to, play those games. They set the record straight with people so that they know that okay, this is what you get when you come over here with that mess. So that's why I like them and how he handled things. But as the truth came out, he needs some self-correction, a lot of self-correction. And I hope that he's doing it and being a lot more respectful. Hell, who knows? Maybe next year they'll be together.
I think Bronwyn also doesn't like the way that she felt turned into like a little girl and was kind of pleading with him or she didn't like certain things. I think Bronwyn's
Yeah.
going to come in more and more into her own. I think that she didn't like the way that she talked about, well, if I need to have an open marriage with my husband. I just thought all of that was, this is a woman that wants to be a powerhouse, that is dropping the persona that she has participated in her relationship. She's done modifying how she is to Todd's desires and the kind of relationship he wants to have and the version of Bronwyn that he wants her to be. And so I think I don't know, I think she's done. And honestly, like I said, a relation a good marriage has maybe run its course. And if she wants to spread her wings and fly on her own, I support it. I feel for her. Like I said, it's weird. I don't love the idea that you go on a reality show and it destroys the life that you bring with it. It's kind of, and this is an extreme, Bravo has got to acknowledge, there is something about the formula of Housewives that is really, really, really kind of terrorizing, situations, period. Nobody's married on Beverly Hills anymore.
Girl.
They are struggling on, they're struggling across the franchises to hang on. And I'm not saying that it doesn't it shines a light on what's already there. And I think that when you have an aspirational lifestyle, you really do have a lot of relationships that have these kind of complicated nuances of compromise and, trophy wife and older husband. And, I bought your looks and you got me with your money and, whatever. And I really like you. But if you didn't have money and you weren't young and hot, like our personalities wouldn't keep us together. That's fine. I do think Bronwyn's also accurate in saying that, like, it shed the light on dynamics she no longer wants to be a part of. But bravo, there really has gotten a point, and fandom, fellow admirers, the way y'all digging in the trash for the bones of Christmas past, like, god damn. Like, I don't want to know when someone was 17, they got a jaywalking ticket. Like, this is ridiculous. And if that's the case, then we as an audience need to stop making it unforgivable that you are a human being that is dark and light and that has made mistakes and has moved past them. Like, I do think this is kind of a reflection of her mama got knocked around real hard. Todd got knocked around real hard. Neither one of them are innocent, but I don't like the idea that, like, you come on this show to end up alone.
Right. Now, speaking of alone, Meredith seems to be alone in her journey on this show. Maybe, Lisa has her back, up to a certain point, because Lisa can't, and I'm glad this episode, Lisa wasn't answering for Meredith.
Yeah.
Wow. She was allowing Meredith to handle herself and answer her own questions, not jump in. I wish Heather would have taken that on, but, she's hard for Heather not to be quiet, child. It's hard. But with Meredith, go ahead.
Well, like, if you're gonna do it, like, silence everybody else so that we can understand. Like, it's so annoying. Like, like, it wasn't even useful. It was just, ugh. I mean, I get it, Lisa, when she starts going, you can't shut her the hell up either. But the two of you talking over each other, I would have been Andy too. I would have walked out on your ass too.
So Meredith was upset, and because she felt as though production wasn't, filming, fairly.
Right.
And everyone felt as though Meredith was deflecting because they all have a certain, they have an affection towards their producers, and they feel like the producers are getting a bad rap just because Meredith feels like she's getting a bad rap. So she's playing the blame game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it also seems like they cut a lot of that out, funny enough, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
That they didn't even let that be the case. Look, Meredith is shucking and jiving. Shuck is the cast, jive is the production. Okay? Like, Meredith just doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. And, like, I'm just finding it very unappealing. If it's not production, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's one thing I agree with Meredith about, one specific thing, when they mentioned that her picking up the phone to call Brooks or talk to Brooks was, her trying to get out of a conversation. And she said, well, why not pick it up after I got off the phone with him? What was the problem with that? And Whitney mostly said, well, because you're upset and we don't want to have to talk to you that way. When else did they talk to her when she was upset? She was upset the whole doggone trip, except for in the pool part and moving forward after that. I thought that was some bull, because they will keep talking right as soon as you're done to get in your craw about something. I just think that was a good point she made. Like, just pick it up after.
I think that they were trying to bring up that, like, there's maybe a don't answer your phone policy. Like, there's some maybe certain, like, filming guidelines that maybe we just aren't, that would break the fourth wall, and that we, like, you need to go on the cash trip even though it was Mother's Day. You need to film until a certain point in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I thought that in general, they harped on that a little bit too much. But I think it's just cumulative with Meredith this season. I think they just were like saying to her, you weren't taking accountability. You were, deflecting and then pulling stunts.
Well, glad you mentioned that. Speaking of accountability, Brown had let Meredith know accountability. You have no clue how that is spelled, nor what it sounds like, nor what it
Yep.
looks like, nor what it smells like. Because how dare you have me come and tell you things about what the ladies have said about you, and you act as though I'm just volunteering the information when you specifically ask, what did y'all talk about, or what happened at lunch? What else are we going to do? What else is going to be discussed and talked about? But you know how Stacey plays semantics on that show. Did I call
Yes.
Chris?
Yeah.
No, I never called Chris. Okay, so how did you deliver the information to Chris then? That would have been my next question.
Right. Or did he call you?
Right. So
Yeah,
how did whatever get into Chris's ear? Because she likes to play semantics, just like she did
does.
with Carlos King on that interview. I'm cool with her, but anyway. So Bronwyn had to get in her crawl, with a few things, specifically, like I mentioned earlier. How dare you want to protect your marriage, but when it comes to hers, Bronwyn's, you want to act like nothing is being said. A friend is a friend, right? If you see something bad is happening, you should speak up. And I think that was pretty much where Bronwyn's delivery, what the message wasn't her delivery of reading Meredith for Filth, about how Meredith was playing as if she's just an innocent victim and not somewhat orchestrating some of the mess.
I thought Bronwyn's strongest point was that she said to her, you threw me under the bus with Whitney. You took what I told you about Brittany and you turned it into something that it wasn't. Remember, we talked about that, where she said, I didn't say she was drinking and throwing up. You took me saying she threw up in the, you ran with stuff. And I feel like you're pumping me for information, and then you and so I felt used instead of us truly as friends. I thought that was her strongest argument, because I felt it was true.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I appreciated the way that Bronwyn held her own with Meredith, didn't let her overpower her. You're not going to talk to me. Yes, I am going to talk to you this way. I mean, just sat her down and gathered her, because Meredith looked as pathetic in her attempts to not address anything by the way that Bronwyn addressed her. And I was clapping, because although, I thought she harped a little too much on, you should have protected my marriage more. I do 100% agree Meredith wasn't protecting anyone, and it was then and also then being like, but you're all attacking me. However, I still thought her strongest points were, you threw me under the bus in group discussions, even though you wanted to talk privately, and you used what I said to your advantage. And you're not addressing anyone with your statement question behavior. I just loved it. Good for you, Bronwyn. You made her look as foolish. You made it undeniable. And I loved it. Summed it all up right there.
Correctamundo. I love that that exchange, because it was necessary. Yep. Not once did Bronwyn yell, not once she raised her voice. She spoke to her in a calm tone, just like I'm speaking now, and she just gave it to her the way it needed to be gave. Bronwyn gave it to her the way it needed to be gave.
Yeah, and articulate and quick,
and quit it.
And didn't lose her head because she was getting emotional. Impressive.
Okay.
Bravo. This is why you leave in your husband and you sacrifice your mama.
Well, we have to say big ups to how she was raised, because I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Some shade, but it's a compliment to how she was made to be assertive and to stick to the point in things, because I see that in her mom.
Yeah. I was impressed. Clap, clap, clap. I mean, star performance, baby girl. You gathered Lisa and Meredith this season.
And speaking of gathered, Angie and Lisa, Angie was asked about the play. Why did she have it written? And she said, well, she wanted it so that everybody can see themselves. Her whole goal was to, and she said this more than once with her different events throughout the season. She wants the ladies to come together. She sees the ladies more of a force when they're together rather than when they are apart. So, and all of the fighting, especially with Lisa, and they made up, so I thought it was great that they, had their moment. And let's see. I mean, Lisa made promises before. We ain't gonna pretend like she broke them real quick when it came to Bronwyn. Let's see if she can keep them when it comes to Angie.
I think Angie testified about her argument with Lisa in Congress or something like that. I've heard that this is kind of reignited some stuff between them, but this is very
what Congress? What happened?
Angie testified in Congress recently. I don't know about what. I don't know enough about this. I'll have to look into it. Anyway, this is the we gotta make up portion. This is we gotta have some resolution. I don't know how long this is gonna last.
Lord, I have so much high hopes coming to this conversation.
Well, and then Heather's getting all emotional, I do love these ladies and because you love being famous, you love being on a cast that everybody's enjoying the fireworks. Y'all do know how to fight, and you're very performative, and sometimes in the best way, sometimes in an annoying way, but you do have your own little flavor, bravo to you all. So if you need to have some fake friend resolutions and whatever, that's fine. I'm fine. It's part of the housewives game. It's the way that, Tamra always tries to sum it all up at the reunion for Orange County.
Can't wait till that comes back.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, y'all, they had, of course, they want to set their intentions and carrying on and how they want to move forward with how they are in their relationships. And everybody has something nice to say. Let's just see was there anything that spoke out to you from what either of them had to say in the end?
Lisa's such a narcissist. Andy, you're gonna like this one. Look, I can show that I heard you. Yeah, but you're not gonna do anything about it. Just because you can parrot back I'm what people are saying doesn't mean you're gonna actually do it. But she said it twice, and that's what I thought was hilarious. I was like, God, you're such a narcissist. But hey, thank you, ladies, for a fun season. This was,
yes.
They got the chemistry.
Brava. And there's one thing I wanted to make clear is that the last scene, they want to cover up this woman. I've been screaming since episode 1 of this reunion. Y'all just keep blaring this woman's nipple. And the one time that they want to cover up her chest is the very last 10 seconds of the show. Now, my co-host said it was a microphone, but
I'm not so sure now because there's literally as I was watching the way they had it positioned in the cup of her dress was a problem. And it's a little round ball that could easily. So anyway, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Right. So I don't know. I'm the one that sent her the picture originally and said Nipplegate. So it's not that I didn't think that possibility. I don't know. Do better though. Regardless, we shouldn't be that sure if it's not.
Hello, do better on a lot of things, especially when it comes to the elderly, children, special circumstances,
body parts. I said body parts.
And what goes on in the air, considering the fourth-hand information we all believe.
Right.
Do better with the cutting and pasting. Come on.
Yeah.
All these millions of dollars y'all making, and we got to say all this stuff about y'all. Anywho, I guess that's it, girl. I don't have no more in my notes. Let me make sure yeah, that was it, girl. That was it. Ain't nobody else in trouble. Ain't nobody we all know Jennifer Shaw was let out, but that's about 4-5 episodes ago. But yeah, girl. That was it.
Yep.
And like my co-host said, thank you guys for a great season. We enjoyed talking about y'all. We enjoyed laughing with y'all. We enjoyed laughing at y'all. We enjoyed y'all totally. Any last words, ma'am?
No, I think we hit it.
Well, let's quit it. So please let everybody know where they can find you when you're not talking ish with me.
You can catch me on Facebook, Psychic Aaron Boyd, or Instagram and Thread, Psychic_ELB. Hit me up in the DMs if you would like to get a psychic reading. Otherwise, just friend, and I will follow back.
And y'all don't forget to catch us tomorrow with episode 9 of Southern Charm, live tomorrow at 9 p.m. And then after that, how about a good another dose on Friday night, y'all? Woo! Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 7 that we're going to discuss. So we're going to come to you tonight, of course, tomorrow night, then after that, and also on Sunday. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Everybody, come on out and see us. So our next show again will be tomorrow night, Southern Charm, season 11, episode 9 p.m. Hope to see you again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure the bell is black or have parentheticals around them. Yes, that's how you know that you are receiving all notifications. So you guys have a good night. See y'all later. Bye. Every day.